How to start writing online. Last year, I wrote about 50,000 words in a span of 2 months and never published any of them. It was January 2024, and I had made a decision to start writing online. But I was scared. I was afraid that I had nothing important to say. So I created this idea in my head that before I would publish anything, I would spend time writing out whatever I wanted to write. And then once I finished, I would use all the writings that I put together and then start publishing them. The reason why I wanted to do this experiment, a few months before that, I watched a video by Daniel Priestley about becoming a key person of influence online. And he talked about how a key person of influence, one of the main jobs is to go out there and then talk about the business, talk about the things that you've done, become a thought leader in whatever industry that you are in. Uh, Key person influence in Daniel Priestley's mind is somebody who other people kind of flock to and then ask questions of them and then look for go for them to for advice. This idea intrigued me, and I decided to become a key person of influence. Uh, One of the things that Dan Priestley always talks about is in order to become a key person of influence, you need to become known. And the best way to become known is to write a book. Now, writing a book is a very difficult and a long-term, difficult commitment exercise and a long-term commitment because you have to first of all get an idea for the book, then plan it out, write the book, publish the book, and then hope that anybody, that people will read it. So it's a very difficult and scary undertaking, in my opinion. So if you wanted to become a key person of influence, you would need to write a book, according to Dan Priestley's philosophy. And one of the things that you could kind of write a book about was about your experiences in whatever field that you were in. Dan Priestley suggested a shortcut, several shortcuts. One of them was to write down 10 or 15 questions about the things that you do and then answer them in a long format, long form format, and then you can put that together into a book. Or you can write a collection of tips and then publish a book on those tips. So it'd be like 100 tips on marketing, 100 tips on product management, things like that. The idea kind of intrigued me. Writing 100 tips, I mean, anybody could do that. If I were to ask you to sit down and give me 100 tips in whatever field that you're in, you would probably give me 100 tips. It would take you some time to give me those 100 tips, but you would kind of bring them out of your experience, out of your mind, and then give them to me. Not easily, but at least you would have enough to say. So the idea was interesting to me. The idea sold me. So that's how I decided to sit down and then write 50,000 words. It was on a very particular topic, which was product management. So it took about 2 months of me writing the book, or writing the tips. It was 100 tips on product management. I committed to writing every day, daily, and I would write 500 to 1,000 words per article. Sometimes the tip would be 500 words, sometimes the tips would be 1,000 words, but I would finish a tip a day. So sometimes 2 tips a day, and it would be enough to fill out about 100 tips in product management. So I finished the book, and I had it all ready, and it's still ready. It's still there in my Notion, and I never published it. The reason why I never published it was kind of twofold. I didn't think it was good enough. That was my main reason. I didn't think it was valuable. I didn't think that I had what it takes to write a book. And I didn't think anybody would read it. So it just kind of sat there, collecting dust. Uh, I started publishing on LinkedIn. I started writing other things a little bit slowly here and there, but I never published the book. Then a few months later, I went back and I looked at the writing that I wrote, that I created, and to be honest, it was not good. It was not well written. It was just a bunch of sentences mushed together. It didn't have stories, didn't have anything interesting. It had some valuable stuff in there because I did share some of the things that I learned, but it wasn't good enough. Unfortunately, I did not have the timestamps on each of these when I wrote, so I couldn't figure out which. I knew where I started, but I didn't know exactly. I didn't remember exactly which bits were last. But I could tell as I was browsing through some of them, so that one was worse and the other one was better. So clearly, I was getting better at writing. These 50,000 words gave me enough confidence to start posting on LinkedIn, but they weren't good enough for me to actually post. Now, as a beginner, we all kind of face fears of being judged about, whatever we do, fears of not being good enough, and that's normal. And writing, especially, and publishing your writing especially, kind of comes with this fear of judgment by everybody else. But what I found was when I started writing, so this 50,000 words was my base, kind of just for myself. When I started publishing on LinkedIn, what I found was that most people, when they saw me publish and write on LinkedIn, there was no judgment of like, oh, who are you to say anything about anything on LinkedIn? For most people, there was silence. Nobody said anything, nobody mentioned anything, nobody cared. For most people that I know, especially, they've seen the stuff, but they never really gave me any feedback or any comments or any judgment on their part about me writing. So that was one. That was most people. Some people, this was a complete surprise for me, came up to me and said, I read your stuff. Really good. Keep it up. I like what you're writing about. And that was another kind of punch. It wasn't a punch in the gut. It was a surprising, like water in your face, cold water in your face, wake up moment. People actually reading my stuff. I didn't think it was good enough, but others thought it was good enough. Some thought it was brave of me to sit down and then actually write and then publish, because for majority of the people, I would say 99% of the people, nobody will actually write their stuff or post it online. They might write it, but they will never post it. So the fear of being judged, the fear of yourself thinking you're not good enough, it's normal. And the thing that I've learned was just go and do it. For me, I had to write 50,000 words first, which was definitely not good 50,000 words. But those 50,000 words got me to that next level where like, okay, I have written enough that I can just write and then publish and not worry about that my writing maybe is not good, because I knew my writing slowly improved. So if you want to overcome these feelings of judgment, fear of judgment, the imposter syndrome that you might have, the fear, the embarrassment of writing, the nothing to say, no one will read it, all of these are valid fears. But if you want to get your business going, if you want to bring in more leads, if you want to bring in more customers, you need to write online. You need to overcome that fear. And one of the things you can do just starting today is just to start writing for yourself. Because when you start writing for yourself and then reading it, that'll give you enough confidence, that'll give you enough practice to become a better writer and to start writing more things and to start writing about your business and then posting it online. So go ahead, give it a go, because that's one of the best ways and the easiest ways and the cheapest ways to get leads. Now, if you want a roadmap to get your first 1,000 leads, hit the link in the description and download the roadmap that will give you exact steps on how to get the leads, what you need to do to get the leads, and then how to convert those leads into clients through email nurture and email marketing. And I will see you tomorrow.